Hello everybody and welcome back to the next video in our Airtable for Land Investors series. My name is Paul Brewer again and I will be your host for this video. And as I mentioned in the last one, this is going to be our longest video. There's a lot to unpack here and it may even be a two-part video. So like I said before, grab your popcorn, your soda, and grab a pen and paper. Feel free to pause this, rewind, and view this as many times as you need to. All right, let's dive right in. Now, as the little I button over here says, this is your brain, okay? This tab, this table here tracks all of your inventory. It tracks it from cradle to sold, okay? So from birth, when you get it in, from your mailing, all the way to when you sold it, So baby this one, okay? This is where we're going to spend a lot of your time. Now, hopefully, very soon, if you haven't done it already, you've hired an intake manager, and actually, you won't be doing too terribly much in here. Your intake manager will be doing all that for you, okay? Now, what we didn't go over in the last set of video is something that I wanted to save and cover here. Each one of these tables has a number of different ways that you can view all the information in the table. Okay, now remember, Airtable itself is literally a Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets on steroids. You can do most of the same things with an Excel spreadsheet in here, okay, with formulas and stuff like that. But the cool thing about this is you can view your data very easily in a number of different ways. Okay, now I'm going to open this up here. Right here, this is how you get to the different views of the properties. Okay, so down here you can see the views. Okay, there's the grid view. You can create a form. You can create a calendar of events, a gallery type, a Kanban, which is what it is in now, and blocks. Blocks are for later, okay? So that's how you get to your views here, all right? Now, the first view we're in is what's called the Kanban view. The Kanban view was created by a Japanese fellow to track productivity and products in what's called a pipeline. So you've heard of like Trello and some of the Pipedrive and some of the other CRMs that are out there, and as you track things as they come down the list, right? So the way I have this table structured is that when you get it in, it goes into this categorized here. Either you or your VA starts it here, and every time it moves into one of these different pipeline funnels, the process changed. So if like this property here that we have in due diligence, if it's now, we're done with due diligence and we're good to go, and it's now the purchase process, or we're sending the deed off to the buyer or seller rather, okay, we just push it in there, and you can see here where it says admin, all right, that just changed the process, okay, and it moves on down the list, all right. I'm going to move this back because it's actually still in due diligence for the training purposes here. All right, so this is the Kanban view, and as you can see, it just goes down the process. So we go from intake to due diligence to purchase process. This is when you've sent the deed out, right, to the seller, and then you want to have them notarized and send it back. All right, now as soon as you send that, you can move it over here to pre-marketing. So this pre-marketing here is where a lot of the magic happens with Zapier. There are a bunch of places in here where with one click, it takes the information that you've added in intake and due diligence and sends that out to your VAs via email to get them started on creating ads. You can do title search, creating due diligence, your photographer. You can email your marketing manager and let them know that, hey, we've got a new property that's going to be coming down the pipeline soon, okay? And then obviously you put it to advertise. Now, whoever's setting up your advertising for you, or if it's you, these are the list of records, properties that you want to be advertised. And then the one that we all love, we've sold that property, and now it's over here in the sold, right? So we can keep track of all the sold. All right, so this is the Kanban view, and this is the view that I play around in most, so I can kind of track how my VA is doing and what's going on. Okay, now we have a couple other views that we have to go over. All right, this isn't the only way you can view your data. All right, the next one is called the all properties in a single view. Now it's very important. Okay, this particular view is the master view. So every time you change or add a column or a row, it should update the other ones down here, all right? So this is the one that we don't ever want to delete. So try not to delete things out of here. And I'll show you if you end up using, let's just go ahead and open it up. All right. So if you end up deciding that a specific column is not needed for you, instead of deleting it, there's a way that you can actually hide the information so that it just does not show up. This way, you're not deleting sensitive information. It's still there. It's just hidden, right? And that's this cool little field right here where it says hidden field. If you open this up, you can select which of these columns over here you want to be hidden from view. So I highly recommend you never delete anything out of here. You simply hide it. That way you can always come back and use it again, okay? And it's super easy to find right there. So this is the all properties, whether it's sold, intake, due to wherever it is. This is the view for all the properties, all right? And we will go through adding an actual property in here so that I can walk you through what all of these different columns do. But right now we're just kind of going over the views, all right? And then the next view is just your active inventory, okay? So it is just the inventory that is either in intake, due diligence, the pre-marketing, and or advertising. Okay, and we have it broken out into each one of the different stages, okay? So we have them grouped and sorted. So if it's all in intake, you'll have a bunch in intake. Here's the ones that are in due diligence, here's the ones that are pre-marketing, and here's the one that's advertising. But it's just the active ones that we're actively working with. We've taken out the ones that have sold, we've taken out the lots that we've passed on. And if you are like me and you have a field for personal inventory, because if you do find that perfect piece of land you want to hold on to, you kind of put it off to the side, but we can keep all the information there. But those are what I consider inactive properties. So this is just for the active properties. All right, and our next view is for the sold properties. Okay, now if you need to go back and reference a property that's sold because either it came back on default or someone's exercising that 90-day return policy that you have, this is where you're going to come and find all that information. And they are simply just right there, all the sold ones. All right, they just list out for you. All right, and then the next view we have here is a sales and acquisition calendar. Now, I only put this one in there just so that you could kind of see what it was all about. Okay, oh, it's going to tell me I need to upgrade because I'm actually not on that upgraded version. So basically what you can do here is if you do upgrade, this is one of the upgrade fields, okay? You can basically look on a calendar, you can see, hey, I sold really quickly. You can say, how many did I sell in this month? How many did I receive in this month? Let's see, how many did I buy in this month? So it's a kind of an easy way to see that. All right, let's move on to the next one here. All right, and this is the cool one. Okay, so if you guys have a intake manager, which if you don't have one yet, you're gonna want one soon. This is a special form. Now, we haven't really gone over forms, but as you can see, on these forms, you can create a form that you share, right? So you share this form with, say, your VA, and they enter in all this information, okay? And then they hit submit, and it will put it in all the right places in your status log here. And all the fields that you can add are over here. So if there are certain fields that you want them to add in, you can simply drag whatever one you want into and place it wherever you want, okay? Now, in this one for your intake manager, right, we have the date that it's received. So if they are viewing your inbox and looking for the letters that come in, okay, they mark that date there. What's the seller, the legal owner's name, okay, that's their email, seller phone number, it's the APN, property state, county, subdivision, whatever information you want. And when they hit submit, it automatically adds it into the form. Now, you can see this APN here has a red star by it, right? So if you click on it here, okay, you can make certain fields required. So I highly recommend that you do that on the ones that you want them to always add in there. You can also add placeholder text, right? So you can add that in and whatever you want. to give your VAs kind of a prompt as to what needs to be put in there if you need to. All right, and down here at the bottom, cool, you can put a custom note thanking them. And then they have some other things here. You can put show submit another response button. So if you have multiples, or you can have it just, hey, take them to a new blank form after 5 seconds. All right. For the upgraded version, okay, you can do a redirect to URL. So if you wanted to redirect someone to a specific landing page, you have that option, but it's a paid feature. And then, of course, you can have them email or have it email you if you want to know when someone has submitted a form. These are really cool. We're going to use these a lot for your ad copy. So it's going to be really cool to see how those work in a little bit. All right. Now we have a couple of other small views that I highly recommend you don't delete. Okay. It's send to ad copywriter, send to photographer, send for due diligence, and send to title. The way Zapier works with this program is it's looking for new records to appear in a specific view. So these views are kind of just hidden and off to the side. We're not going to really use them for anything, okay? But as we move along, you're going to come to areas where you hit a quick button and you are going to send that record to, say for the copywriter, to this view. And when it hits this view, Zapier's waiting on the back end. They see it. Okay, it follows all the prompts you set up in Zapier, and I'll show you that video at the very end, how to set these apps up, so that it takes that information and sends it to the VA of your choice via whatever email service provider you have. So for the copywriter, it would take the APN, the county, the state, any notes that I'd put into the special tab for the ad copy that I want included, and it sends it to the ad copywriter, and it also includes the link to the ad copy submittal form. And once my ad copywriter has finished the ads, they upload them through that form, and that puts it right into up here, my ad copy tab. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and end this one here for now. I'm going to come back in the next video. We're going to show you how to add a new property in. So this was part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, and we'll see you on the next one.